So lately in the MMA world, there's been a lot of debate about who is the pound for pound fighter in the world, whether this be John Jones or Islam Makachev. In my personal opinion, pound for pound means the fighter's ability to translate across different weight classes. And the fact that John Jones was able to go up to heavyweight, which is the highest weight discrepancy between weight classes that exist, which is 60 pounds from 205 to 265 pounds. And he was able to be successful. To me, that made him the number one pound for pound fighter. And Islam Makachev defeated Alexander Volkanovski twice, but that was only a 10-pound difference, and Volkanovski was the one going up. Besides that, when you look at the amount of title defenses, we're talking about 14-3. And if you look at title wins in general, 15-4, we're talking about a 10 difference in terms of title defense. I don't think they're even close. This would be like arguing that John Jones was the best ever when he only had three title defenses. It would have not come into fruition at all. People would have said at that time, no, GSP is the one. Anderson Silva. Had those fighters remained active at that time. And John Jones is still an active fighter in the roster. Sure, he has a lot of inactivity. That's true. He took 3 years to go up to heavyweight. And at that time, I would have been perfectly fine with John Jones having been removed from the pound for pound rankings. And I believe he was. But at this time, he is back to being an active fighter. Sure, he hasn't fought since last year, but that's due to an injury. He was going to fight Stipe Miocic about 6 months after he defeated Cyril Gane. And then when you look into how easily John Jones was able to defeat Cyril Gane in about a minute, when Islam Makachev struggled with Poirier in his last fight, I mean, he did struggle a little bit. I was going to say he didn't struggle, but he did struggle a little bit. There's been a lot of basically asterisks in Islam's wins. Like, for example, the Volkanovski one, the last one, Volkanovski had no time to prepare. The one before, Volkanovski put up an incredible fight. It was a really close fight. So John Jones, what he's been able to do for such a long period of time definitely has to be worth something. And I don't see anywhere in the definitions that it states that the fighter has to be X amount of active. Again, if he wasn't an active fighter right now, then sure, he would be removed from the rankings like he was removed last time. But people bashing John Jones right now, when the guy's actually injured, otherwise he would have fought in November, and then before that he fought in March, so about a 6-month difference. It's just ludicrous to me. I don't understand it. John Jones is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, and it's not even close. They have about 10 title wins in differences. And Islam hasn't gone up yet. And when he does go up, I actually do fancy him to beat a guy like Leon Edwards, but it's only a 15-pound difference. It's not like a 60-pound difference like John Jones had to undergo. And that's why he took so long to be able to go to heavyweight. That's why when Daniel Cormier was able to knock out Stipe in the first round and then defend his championship against Derek Lewis, I consider him the number one pound for pound fighter. It was a 60-pound difference to be successful at light heavyweight. And then also at heavyweight, where it's the biggest discrepancy in terms of size by far. And we're not talking by a little bit. We're talking by a lot. The jump between lightweight to welterweight is 15 pounds. From featherweight to lightweight, it's 10 pounds. And people are holding these things like they're comparable. No, they're not. John Jones walked around weight was about 225, 230 pounds. To go up to heavyweight where the limit is 265 and to do to Cyril Gahn what he did, it's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And the run that he went at light heavyweight, champion after champion after champion after champion after champion. We're talking about Brandon Barra, Ryan Bader, who later went on to be a Bellator champ, Shogun Rua, Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson, Daniel Cormier twice, Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, who later became light heavyweight champ, defeating Jan Blachowicz, who actually defeated Israel Adesanya, Thiago Santos. I'm not even counting the Dominic Reyes fight because I actually thought he lost that fight. Fair enough, but the reality is, at the end of the fight, Reyes was done. I thought Reyes won at 3-2 because it's scored by rounds, but like Dana says, you lock two guys in a row, Jones would have come out on top. Reyes would be destroyed by John Jones in a life or death situation because he was out. He didn't have any more gas. John Jones, if the fight had continued indefinitely, would have won that fight. And this is coming from someone who scored that fight for Reyes. I thought Reyes should have been given the victory. But if they were locked in a room, John Jones comes out the victor. Reyes was gassed out. He had nothing else to give. So, yes, Dana White is right. John Jones is the number one pound-for-pound fighter, and it's not even close. They're about 10 title wins apart. Islam even going up a weight class, it wouldn't do what John Jones has done. Like and subscribe.